Anime hot takes that progressively get worse the more they go on. You can't judge an anime if you haven't read the manga. Actually, I can, because in some cases, the anime and the manga are completely different things. Two different narratives, two different ways that they're able to be done, yada yada yada. Also, in some cases, the fandom might be bad and you might be roped into how that is, even though you're not that kind. So that's like a whole convoluted thing in itself, but in the long run, Luffy represents freedom better than Eren. In what way exactly? Is it the premise of how they portray freedom? Is that what we're going off of? Or is it the way they went about doing it? Because freedom is pretty convoluted. As in both the narratives of One Piece and AOT, freedom is not the same thing. But under the proverbial umbrella, the idea is still there. Luffy wants to be free, which in turn would make everybody else free if he gets what he wants. Eren wanted freedom from tyranny and would go at any lengths to make that possible. Not only that, to give freedom to his friends. In a general sense, based off of premise, you could say they're one and the same, just with different ideologies of how to achieve it. So is really one better than the other if they're basically exactly the same? Hating on an anime you haven't watched is stupid. I wouldn't say that. Sometimes there are outside forces that make it hard to actually like an anime because of how either the fandoms or how it's basically portrayed by others. For instance, the My Hero fandom. We know all about that. For instance, My Hero. Some people refuse to watch it because of how the fandom is. Now, is that right? I'd say no, but I completely understand why. Because who would want to be roped into something like that? The moment you mention it, everyone's gonna assume that you in some way, shape, or form are associated with it in some way, shape, or form. And I personally don't think anybody wants that. Now, on the off chance that isn't the case, it could just be word of mouth. Especially if the source that you're hearing it from is reliable on maybe you shouldn't watch this because it's not good, you should probably believe that. Especially if they have more knowledge in the grand scheme of things when it comes to anime. And if they know what they're talking about, then you should probably listen. Again, depends on the premise. Death Note is overhated and is one of the best starter animes. This I can get behind, I just don't like the opening sequence. It's like terrible. Like, what is that music? And anything after L, in my opinion, it ain't it. They should have just stopped. Yes, N was basically smarter than L, which I don't really understand, but like, the way it ended, to each their own.